We're still waiting for people to join, so we'll probably give it a couple of more minutes. So we're here, ready to answer your questions. So yeah, just sit tight.
Check, check. 1, 2. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Great. Awesome. Had to switch on the VPN. So we got a bunch of people already here. Let me quickly switch off my notifications. Just a second. So hello everybody. It's good to be back. Last AMA was, if I'm not mistaken, it was on March 1st. So the AMA is held once a month as usual. And today I'm joined by our CTO, Alex Tillegan, and I'm Ilya, the CPO of GTON Capital. So I guess that some people are going to be joining in the next few minutes. And meanwhile, I think I can just give you.
Hello. I've stopped hearing you. So maybe something's happened. Ilya, we've got some problems with your microphone. Yeah, I think Ilya is currently trying to solve some VPN problems, so we'll have to wait for him to rejoin us. But anyway, we're still waiting for people to come to the AMA, so I don't think it's a big problem. And all of these sessions are, as always, recorded, so for anyone who didn't get a chance to join it live, we're definitely sharing this recording later in our news channel and like everywhere else. Ilya is the source of all the questions that we're going to answer today, so we have to wait for him. He's got a compiled list of all the questions that we've gathered through like Discord forums and in other channels as well. So still trying to get something out of his microphone. But anyway, I think today we've got around like 12 or 13 questions that we're going to answer. It seems that Ilya is not going to be able to join us for now because of some VPN problems. So one moment, I'll just try to grab the list of the questions and start answering them. For now, we'll have to wait for Ilya to answer some questions regarding GTON quiz. So hopefully we're going to get this problem sorted by then. Okay, and the first question was regarding the timetable for the token swap and when we're going to share any details about the process of how exactly it's going to be held. So we already got the infrastructure ready, and in the coming days, probably tomorrow or the day after, we're going to share a form with the community where you can enter the details of the transaction where you send your GTON tokens on Ethereum to our team's safe, and after that you just share the transaction hash as it was with the case of switch from Phantom to Ethereum, and then later down the line, after the 15th of April, as was announced previously, we're going to start the distribution of the tokens. Everyone is going to have the same time frame for the token swap. So the deadline for it is going to be the 15th of June. And up until the date, you are able to send the tokens to our team's multisig, and we're going to distribute OGXT tokens for you on GTON chain. The main liquidity for OGXT, firstly, is going to be on the rollup, but there are definitely ways to trade it over there, and of course, bridge some assets back from the rollup to Binance Chain. So stay tuned, and we are going to share the links with the forum and the information of where to send the tokens a bit later, like probably tomorrow or the day after. So this was the first question that I remember by heart through our training session with Ilya, but I didn't have the list of questions on me, so I'm trying to reach Ilya and get the list of those questions. One moment. Okay, the next question is what is going to happen to the team's allocated tokens? So the thing is, like, the majority of GTON tokens are currently held in the safes that belong to the team. So the process is going to be the same. So the majority of tokens that are left in treasury, GTON tokens, are going to be exchanged for GXT at the same ratio as everyone else getting them exchanged for. So basically, all the funds that are already in the safe are going to be stored in another safe on Binance Chain and on our own rollup, and we are going to basically do all the same stuff that was happening with the GTON token, so nothing new here. And as for some of the tokens that were already distributed to the team's addresses, so some of the bonuses were paid out in GTON. Those are personal tokens of team members, and basically they're going to undergo all the same process as everyone else. So all of our team members are going to send those tokens to the safe that belongs to the team and fill out the same form, and we're going to do the distribution accordingly. So it's not going to change comparing to what other users are experiencing. So yeah, nothing changes there. Okay, this was the second question that I remembered out of the list. I'm still trying to fetch it from Ilya. It seems that he's lost internet connection somehow. Let me try and remember something else to answer. Okay. What else was mentioned there? What did we want to answer? Okay. I've got the list. So one of the interesting questions that we've got is how much of the GTON treasury will be transferred to the treasury of OGX exchange. So basically, the thing is that OGX by itself didn't have a treasury per se. So the funds are actually allocated for the for the development and some market making activity. Okay, sorry, I can myself, probably someone. Oh, yeah, it's Leah who is here and unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. I'm
Oh,
answering the question.
finally. Sorry, I've just switched like 5 different VPNs and only one of them worked. It's crazy. I'm really sorry for that. So, are you on question 3, if I'm not mistaken?
I'm on the question regarding the transfer of the treasury between GTON and OGX.
Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah, and so as I was saying, so there is no treasury of OGX per se, but of course we're going to provide some of the initial liquidity needed for the protocol, and this is going to be the basis for the trading of OGXT token to other assets. So mainly it's going to be GCD. But at the same time, like at the core of the OGX protocol is the OGXT token, and OGX is an exchange that builds not around like liquidity providers, but around the liquidity that is owned by the protocol. So it means that all the fees that are associated with any trade that is happening on OGX are going to go to the team's treasury, but it's not like treasury that we're going to use for some activities. These are entirely like market making funds that we're going to use to actually exchange all the liquid tokens into the OGXT, and all the combined OGXT fees and these fees that we've transferred, we've exchanged from other tokens to OGXT, are going to be used to burn OGXT tokens. So basically, it means that with all those operations of buying the OGXT token from the exchange, the price of it is going to increase due to the automated market making formula that is used in the pools, as well as like through the burning process of these OGXT token that we acquired. Basically, we're going to support the price of OGXT token. So this is kind of like the main way of building, not treasury, but using the protocol fees to maintain the price of OGXT token. So to sum up, the current treasury is used to support the development and some of the initial liquidity, but at the same time, OGX per se doesn't have a treasury that we need to transfer any funds to.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the explanation. Sorry for missing the beginning. Have you been able to give like a quick recap of what we've been doing for the past month? If not, I can just go ahead and do it quickly, and then we can go back to the questions about GTON quiz.
Yeah, of course, go ahead, because I just started answering the questions straight away. So I already answered about the timing and details of token launch, and
Okay.
as well about the GTON team tokens, what is going to happen to those.
Got it. So, first of all, I really apologize for that. It was a technical hiccup. I was trying to find a VPN that would work with Discord. The thing is, in Dubai, where we are based, sometimes streaming services, they are banned in certain areas. They work in other areas, and that's like a gamble, and you can't really be sure if it works or not. But I think I figured it out, so now it's working properly. And so just let me give a quick recap of what we've done over the past month, and then we will go back to the questions. So I think we have made a significant progress in terms of the development of the GTON ecosystem. As we've mentioned many times, we're currently trying to focus as much as possible on product development. And during the first week of March, we were engaged in a very active development of the so-called second milestone of GTON quiz. Um, at this moment, we have successfully deployed the first milestone of GTON quiz in production, which is sort of an alpha testing version. But we're currently busy with streamlining the automation for generating questions via ChatGPT, as was mentioned previously. So expect a lot of updates in terms of new, fresh content, new categories for quizzes, new topics, etc. So we have actually been hosting live games since the beginning of March, and our plan now is to gradually expand and add a variety of different kinds of topic-based quizzes for different backgrounds and areas. So stay tuned for that. So we also started preparing the infrastructure for OGXT release. At the beginning of the month, we removed GTON liquidity as was promised in our last AMA. And the first half of the month was basically dedicated to preparing the infrastructure for the transition from GTON to OGXT. Some of our development efforts continued with the GTON quiz. One of the things that we are currently developing, almost ready to deploy in production, it's a user dashboard or a ticketing system that would display you a list of available upcoming quizzes. And we start with a basic Web 2 kind of system where you have a virtual kind of currency that you can use to spend on different packages of quizzes to buy access to those quizzes. But in the next month or two, we'll be gradually transforming to a Web3 assisted system where there is where we integrate our rollup. So if you participate in quizzes and you win trophies, you can then claim them as NFTs on our rollup. And then you can, if you want to buy a package of quizzes and participate in the game, you can also pay with GCD, for instance. And we got large plans in terms of how to grow this Web 2 limited app into a full-blown Web 3 app. Also, one things that I wanted to mention, Alex was busy with our hiring process. It was going great. We welcomed a new developer, Victor, and Seraphim. Seraphim joined our team to help simplify the user experience for those users who are going to be onboarding on GTON Chain products. And one of the most interesting things is that we have one project in the pipeline, which is called Sims. So I think I can hear myself. Well,
yeah, it's all good. I can hear you, and I can explain what Sims are. So basically, these are the simulated assets, so-called, something like synthetics, but we didn't want to call it that because there is a project with the same name, so it's better to differentiate from them. And basically, we want to provide an opportunity for people to trade traditional stocks, but in the Web3 world, through through the assets that try to maintain the price, price back to the price on the centralized exchanges where these assets are being traded. So at the first iteration, we're going to launch the Tesla stock, and the development is going really great. So we really expect to at least some sort of working system in the next probably 2 weeks or so on testnet, and then we'll see. But we'll try to make the mainnet launch as soon as possible. So that's probably it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. And then with the OGX and Sims update, thank you, Alex. And then also expect a new release of GTON Quiz ticket app. It's almost ready for extended testing. As I mentioned, it's going to remain Web 2 for a while. We want to bring as many people as possible to play, to engage, and then convert most of them into Web 3 users when they expect to get some value out of their, like, to monetize their knowledge in some way. Then it becomes a learn to earn system, and that's where our rollup comes into play, and we can actually make it a very seamless experience to gradually onboard a user to become a Web3 connoisseur. That's what I wanted to say. So keep an eye on our announcements for the latest updates, and let's continue with the questions. So the next question that I would like to ask, and I'm not sure, maybe you have answered it already, but let's check. What happens to those that do not swap from GTON to OGXT? So the answer is pretty obvious. I mean, we don't have any liquidity left, so these tokens that will just remain on your wallets. I'm not sure if there's going to be any use of them. So we highly recommend you to participate in the process of swapping as soon as possible. And Alex, do you have anything to add to that?
No, that's it.
Yeah. So another question relates to the GTON quiz app. Will you add photos, videos, audio to the quiz to diversify the questions? It's a very interesting proposal. I think we'll definitely consider that. I mean, we already have the possibility of adding photos and to ask questions in the format of images. In terms of videos and audio, it's an interesting suggestion. I think we will consider that when we have the whole system ready, because that's kind of an improvement that it's not like a core improvement, something that will probably make the quiz more fun and engaging. But we're currently focusing on the core structure of this whole system to make it you know, to streamline the process of generating content, to to maybe increase the regularity of games, because right now we have only 2 planned games during the day. I think it's really not optimal, and we have to make it so that people that join in, they can instantly find a quiz that would be interesting to them and just and play right away. So that's our primary focus right now. And then again, the third milestone, as I mentioned, is going to be completely dedicated to integrating the rollup into the system. So stay tuned for that. The next question is, now there's a lot of different AI from different companies. Will the quiz always be on ChatGPT, or are you considering switching to another AI? I don't see any particular reason to consider other GPT-like systems. Uh, in terms of generating content, GPT-4 that we're using right now, the model, the latest LLM model, it works pretty well. I mean, sometimes it generates some hallucinations or invents some facts, but we have manual moderation to ensure that the content stays relevant and factually correct. The thing is that I find really interesting that we have in store for the third milestone is that we want to um, create a competitive environment where people can compete against ChatGPT or better say GPT based bots, where we can sort of uh, put people teams made of people and teams made of AI bots against each other and see how they perform, and that will be a separate viral sort of factor that would allow us to attract more people. And in the end, the goal is, of course, to convert all those people that they're going to be playing the game, to convert them into the users of our rollup. That stays our primary focus. So again, we plan to add like a competitive edition where you can compete with ChatGPT based bots. That's the thing. The next question is kind of related to that. To that, how do you plan to further develop the GTON quiz? Will users be able to create their own questions? So I think I want to give a brief description of what you can expect from the Quiz Wallet app. So it's going to be an application that introduces some new entities in the product. The most interesting entity is the quiz currency, which currently is completely centralized, just the virtual currency on our server. But in the future, we have plans to switch to a Web3 based token, to a token that will be deployed on our rollup. And then there are tickets and trophies. So a ticket is like an item that you can purchase with the currency that will give you access to a package of quizzes or a specific quiz that you're interested in. And a ticket would be able to be purchased by spending this quiz currency. And then if you're successful in solving quizzes, you can claim a trophy, which is awarded to somebody who has taken a quiz and, for instance, took one of the one of the first places, like maybe the first, the second, and the third. So this trophy, when we release the Web3 system, this trophy will have some kind of reward value, and you will be able to redeem it back for quiz, and therefore that there's going to be a separate tokenomics around the quiz system, around the quiz game. Yeah, but this is going to come a little later. First, we need to really attract as many users as possible. That's our primary focus right now. So this is the plan to further develop the GTON quiz. The next question is about the integration of AI technology, how it impacted the functionality and user experience of GTON Chain's products, and what potential benefits do you see for future development? It's kind of a broad question. How has the integration of AI technology impacted the functionality and user experience of GTON Chain's products?
Well, it did already impact GTON quiz, because initially we didn't even expect it to turn out what it turned out to be, and ultimately we decided that it's great that we can use AI to assist with the questions creation, because actually when we tried creating quizzes for our offline events, it was extremely time consuming. So with the help of such systems as ChatGPT, you can really cut this process from like several hours to like 10, 20 minutes or so. So it does contribute in some areas, so we just really have to find the ways to apply this technology in what we do. So it doesn't impact the GTON chain directly, for example, but yeah, it might influence some of the projects that we build upon it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it became pretty obvious how to use it with GTON Quiz, but it's interesting how we could apply the same tools that we have at our disposal to other GTON chain products. And it's an interesting question that we might consider and maybe answer during the next AMA. Okay. I think it's the last question that is related to this, to staking and farming on the new token on OGXT. So that the person says, I don't know because I rarely visit. Will there be staking farming in the new token after the token swap? Since the token is in a drawdown, I want to compensate for this by staking. So as was mentioned on the previous AMA, the APR is going to be 10% as per the proposal. And I'm not even sure what to add to that. Yes, so GXT will be a staking token. Alex, maybe you have some kind of angle that I'm not seeing here.
Yeah, just to once again to reiterate why do we have the APR? It's because we expect it to be balanced uh, with the demand for OGXT tokens, since it's going to be the main relay on our OGX, and basically any trade that is happening on the chain, on this exchange, is going to affect the price of OGXT. So that while we are gathering all the fees and burning OGXT, basically we balance out the tokens that are being printed kind of in this staking process. So it means that even though there is APR, the token itself might become deflationary in case there is even like medium activity on the chain. So yeah, that's why we've got the staking here, and we really do expect people to participate in all the activities on chain, to trade themes that we're developing right now, and that's how the price and this APR is going to be supported.
Yep. And if we release any tokens for the particular products that we're building, OGX is going to be the place for them to launch. It's going to be like a launch pad. So when we talk about the token for GTON Quiz, it's definitely going to be used on the rollup itself. all the NFTs that we mint, etc. So it all becomes sort of an enclosed system where everything works together. And yeah, I'm trying to see whether there are any other questions that we have not yet answered. There's one. What is the role of tokenization in the GTON chain project? And how does the tokenomics model work to incentivize network participation? It's also one of the other kinds of broad questions. But again, as I mentioned, there's this idea of using OGX as a launchpad for all the new product oriented tokens that we're going to be releasing on the rollup. Maybe you, Alex, also had something to add in terms of tokenization?
Not really. So we don't want to release any new tokens just for the sake of releasing token. So only in case there is a real need and real tokenomics for something that we launch, then we're going to introduce a new token. But other than that, it's really like we don't want to launch tokens for the sake of tokens.
Yep, I agree. Okay, I think we have done it all. There was one question about angels. We might try to answer that. There was some person
Yeah,
on Telegram, I think, that mentioned that we had an angel system for token holders, and they kind of wondering if this is a reliable system for supporting the price of OGXT in the future. And I think the as we discussed with Alex in preparation about this question, that angels have no market edge over other participants, and the system is kind of obsolete. So if there's going to be something else for the OGX project, it's going to be announced separately, and we have different kinds of terms and explanations for that. Again, Alex, do you have anything to add to that?
yeah. Basically, like angels are any people that are willing to help the project, like with their expertise or by any other means. So, if you've got any ideas of how to support the ecosystem, then you're welcome to join and help the team. But at the same time, as Ilya already mentioned, like angels, like that, the question was related to whether or not they're going to support the price of GXT somehow, and whether or not they can dump the tokens in future and affect the price. Well, in any case, we don't expect these people to have any advantage to the average user. So that's why we don't expect any special treatment for anyone who holds OGXT. And that's why, yeah, we expect people not to be dumping much on the market, but at the same time, we can't influence it and influence their financial decisions. So we just try to build the best products possible that are able to maintain the price of the underlying tokens that we release, like OGXT, and just build something that is going to add additional demand for GXT token through introduction of new types of tokens that you might want to buy. So, for example, those SIMs that we already mentioned, and like the more ecosystem develops, the less we depend on individual investors. Like the same as it's happening to any other big chains and big infrastructure projects. So that's why we aim for that and not for like very good relationships with particular groups of investors, because like what matters is the product and not like the token itself. So let's just try to build the best product possible.
Yeah, in turn, if you got a working product, if you got lots of activity, and if you have a token as well, then this works as a like sort of synergistic system together. That's the only way to actually provide any value. Because if you're just releasing a token, it's decoupled from any particular use case, then you can't even ensure that the tokenomics itself is going to work properly. So basically, I got another question in my PMs. What is the process to get the DAO to vote on a proposal? I have a proposal, but there is no chance for me to get it up for a voting process. It's interesting. We have a process of reviewing the proposals that you get published on the forum, and it always enters a certain period of where we all are questioning the premises of the proposal. We talk to the creator of the proposal, and together we figure out the best formulation for any proposals. So I think that if you want to propose something, your best bet is to do it through the forum system. Yeah. So again, Alex, do you have any particular point of view about the how do you increase the chances of your proposal getting voted on?
We actually just posted on the forum, get a discussion, and if there's enough support and enough interest in this particular topic, then yeah, we can run like a vote on that proposal. So just use the forum, and that's it.
Yeah, actually, there's a way on the forum to create a polling post where you can sort of assess preliminary how many people would support your proposal, and um, just to gauge the interest of the community in what you're proposing. So that's some other thing that you can make. Also, you can can get in touch with the team as well on Discord if you have something particular that you want to introduce to our strategy, to our roadmap. We're always in touch over Discord. It's a preferable tool over Telegram. Right now, there's a lot of noise in Telegram, unfortunately. So if you want to contact the team directly and talk about some idea or suggestion or critique or whatever you have in mind, create a support ticket on Discord, and we're gonna try to respond as soon as possible. So that would be my other recommendation. I don't see any other questions. I might miss something because I've been given a couple of various lists. So I think that's all. I think we can wrap up. Are there any questions in the chat maybe that I've missed or anything like that? I
Uh,
don't think so.
yeah, I'm going through the list once again just to make sure that we've got everything covered. At least the stuff that we found. So
Yeah, I'm also looking at the chat on Telegram if there are any other questions that we might have missed. Um, yeah, I think we responded to all the questions by Stockmaster on Telegram. Yeah. Okay. So I would say we've done a good job. So let's just go ahead and disperse. Thanks a lot, everybody.
yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks everyone, and yeah, looking forward to the next AMA. Just submit your questions on Discord, and like this is the best way for the team to definitely get it. And yeah, we'll answer them in a month.
All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.